Hello everybody, got something I want to tell you. You know, all my good friends at the Tennessee Wildlife Federation have been busier than a raccoon on a creek bank, making sure your wildlife will be around for generations to come. So how about setting a hook into the future of conservation by making a gift to support the Tennessee Wildlife Federation today? There's no place else like Tennessee, and together we can keep it that way.
So I'm just gonna pour it right over top of it.
Hey! Oh my god, I love this song!
Stainless steel, the finest craftsmanship. Swiss made. That's worth like a bunch of hits. My dad doesn't even wear it all the time. He won't even know it's gone. I'll just take it out of his room when he goes to work. If he realizes it, I'll blame it on my little sister. I'll be set for a few days. It's okay. When I can, I'll buy him another one.
The world looks different when you're addicted to opioids. Don't let a prescription become an addiction. To learn more, visit opioidassist.com.
Steve Beverly's TV classics can cure what ails you.
I watched and it got rid of my hemorrhoids.
Staying awake at night? Just watch TV classics.
My daughter watched and she went right to sleep.
Do not watch Steve Beverly's TV classics if pipes upset your stomach. Do not watch if high drama leads to emotional distress. And do not turn on TV6 Saturday or Sunday at 7 if hillbillies give you a gallbladder attack.
Ask your doctor if Steve Beverly's Classics is right for you.
Hello, I'm Logan Whaley. We've just had a busy 7 days in West Tennessee this week. As we do each weekend, we'll look back at the top stories of the past week, focus on an important issue facing West Tennessee, and welcome a newsmaker of the week. Among the big stories, the idea of a later bell time for high school and middle school students is back on the table. A major change is coming to one of Jackson's longtime traditions, and the latest on the Hub City's first murder of 2019. Our issue of the week deals with transitions our seniors face. And our newsmaker of the week is a Jackson sports legend who has reached a new milestone in his career. First, the top stories in West Tennessee this week. For 3 years, Jackson-Madison County schools have considered changing a practice that's continued for more than 30 years. The superintendent wants to see it happen. Some of the school board members want to see it as well. Implementing the change may not be as easy as it appears. The board's long-range planning committee is returning to a discussion on a later bell time for middle and high school students. Since the city and county school systems consolidated in the late 1980s, classes for older students have begun at 7:15 a.m. Several national research studies indicate that's a hindrance to academic performance. Superintendent Eric Jones favors a later start time, but says any change will create adjustment issues for parents and for athletic practices.
My job as the leader of the school system to come up with viable options. While I totally respect the community, but we just can't open up full discussion and say, tell us what you want to do, because there's some things that they don't know that I know. There's some things that I know that you don't know, because I have to sit in the seat every day. And that's what you all hired me to do, to give you best advice on what I think and the school district think is the best options.
Long-range planning chair Morris Merriweather has his own proposal for a later start time.
We leave the elementary students' time as the same and move the 8:45 to the high school, because at the high schools is where, according to statistics, that's where the biggest impact that would change academics as well as behavior.
Merriweather has called for a public hearing on the later start time, but Dr. Jones says before that happens, the committee needs to consider a variety of options. On our second edition of West Tennessee This Week in October, we explored the idea of one bell time or a later bell time in depth. Because the issue is back on the table, we bring you a West Tennessee This Week Rewind.
Starting at 7:15 sucks. You're always tired. And then when you're tired, everything's kind of fuzzy.
For 28 years, Jackson-Madison County high school and middle school students have begun classes at 7:15 in the morning. That usually means catching a bus as early as 5:45 a.m. Wake-up times can be as early as 4:30 each morning. Dr. Joanne Stevenson says adolescents and teens especially need to sleep in. She says it's not only bad for their mental health, but also for their physical health.
And actually, teens need more sleep than anybody else. They need 9 to 10 hours. And they need morning sleep.
In 2015, Dr. Scott Hewlin of Union University's Honors Program and several others presented nationally recognized research. The data showed academic performance improves when students start their school days at 8:30 or 9 in the morning.
And the superintendent at that time was clearly less than excited about acting on the concerns that we had.
The superintendent and some of the school board were reluctant to move forward with uniform bell times. They were concerned about problems with busing schedules they said would arise from the adoption of new start times. Hewlin says that fewer than 10% of American middle schools and high schools start before 7:30 a.m. The Jackson-Madison County school system is actually one of the few schools left in the nation that is yet to recognize and act upon the research.
If you delay school by like an hour or two each morning, then we get more rest and then we're more awake.
Given the fact that there's somewhere on the order of 150 school systems that in the last 5 years alone have made this change from early start times to later start times, and that they've all had to figure out busing schedules, it seems like we could probably figure out how to make the busing schedules work.
A big question is whether they will take the same position on school start times as previous boards. Matana DeWitt, West Tennessee Today.
A week ago, we learned that a longtime Jackson tradition is leaving the city. But the people who have produced the event for decades are saying not so fast. The Miss Tennessee pageant affiliated with the Miss America organization is moving to Knoxville. New pageant director Joe Albright made the announcement, which was not a surprise. The former pageant corporation, headed by Tom Hensley and Jimmy Exum, is one of 20 state pageant groups that have issued votes of no confidence in the National Miss America pageant. That came after major changes initiated by former Miss America Gretchen Carlson that angered some state organizations. In an earlier interview with the Jackson Sun, Hensley indicated a local Miss Tennessee pageant will go on in Jackson as usual.
They've hijacked the Miss America program. They've taken it away from us. They've decided to make it a part of a Me Too movement. I'm all right on Me Too. I had 3 daughters. I've got a beautiful wife, and granddaughters. I'm for Me Too. But this is not the Me Too movement. This is the Miss America pageant.
Madison County is making yet another appeal to the Internal Revenue Service. This week, County Commission Chairman Gary Deaton said the appeal is an effort to eliminate a fine of more than $200,000 against the county. Deaton says the appeal has been denied twice. The IRS fined the county for failing to meet a deadline in presenting a report of their employee W-2 forms. The deadline was missed on tax forms issued in 2015. The county has hired an outside accountant in an effort to waive the fine. Otherwise, spending on school system projects and other needs could be delayed. He says he didn't do it, but Elijah Garrison has been charged with the city's first murder of the new year. Garrison is 25. He's charged with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting death of DeAndre Holmes on January 5th. Garrison was arraigned Monday in Jackson City Court before Judge Blake Anderson. An eyewitness identified Garrison as a passenger in a car who opened fire on Holmes. A police source told West Tennessee Today Holmes was shot 8 times. Charges were dropped against a second person in the case. The shooting was at Magnolia Landing Court Apartments. Garrison is in the Madison County Jail without bond. Jackson firefighters are about to have a big boost for training. They're receiving a grant of more than $160,000. The city's share is $8,000. The money is for a mobile safety sprinkler house. Also in the package is training for laser-driven fire extinguishers. City Fire Chief Daryl Samuels says part of his job is to seek training upgrades.
We have a mission, and we plan on accomplishing that mission by having the modern technology of apparatus. We're utilizing communications as far as the techniques as relates to fire. and we have public education programs that are level. We have a high level of training.
The weather is a big part of the news this weekend. West Tennessee is still waiting to see if we have measurable snow before the day ends on Sunday. Let's go to Miles Randall at the Pinpoint Weather Center for details.
Logan, for everyone watching our Saturday night edition, snow may or may not fall overnight. We have an upper level low over the Mid-South, but it's moving fast. With temperatures near 60 Saturday afternoon, the roads are not cold enough for a lot of snow to stick. If we do have any overnight, expect it to be an inch or less, and it will be out of here by noon Sunday. Your West Tennessee This Week Pinpoint forecast calls for a high Sunday only up to 28, with wind chills down to 11. Sunday night, get ready for a hard freeze. The low will be 13. A north wind will make our wind chill fall to 3 degrees. Monday, we'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 34 and a low Monday night of 31. So Logan, if we get any snow at all, it will be gone by early Sunday afternoon, but we expect a very cold week ahead.
That's our look at the top stories across West Tennessee this week. Coming up, our issue of the week. We examine the transitions our seniors face in our part of the state. If you are a caregiver or your parents are in the retirement years, you won't want to miss it. That's ahead next on West Tennessee This Week.
They come with a desire, a thirst for knowledge, but a thirst to use that knowledge for God and for God's kingdom.
What I love about teaching at Union, first and foremost, is students. They actually learn by doing with professional supervision. That's what we're teaching them every day. By the time a student finishes 4 years at Union, they can go into any television newsroom in America and go to work.
One of the really hands-on aspects of the PR degree is that we have started and are trying to pilot the Bulldog Communication Group or firm. It's a student-run PR firm here on campus, and we deal with real-world clients, whether they be at Union or outside of the school.
In public relations, we're actually one of only 3 faith-based schools that has the CEPR accreditation.
And we compete in the International Public Debate Association. We are the reigning national champions. In addition to our public relations major, our broadcast journalism and speech majors, we also have majors in film studies, in digital media communication, in theater, and a generalized degree in communication studies where you get to study all of our different disciplines. There are so many things to love about Union. Union hits on every single cylinder.